Hi, welcome to the first episode of the Budget Lounge. I am your host, Shanae Farrow, and today we're going to be learning about budgeting for beginners. So, if you're like most people who are not familiar with budgeting, it might be a little tense. It is a daunting process and it's not easy for those who are not used to budgeting. So, I'm making it my job to teach you how to budget in a way that's fun, easy, and simple so that way you can reach your financial goals. So, I hope that you enjoy this episode and let's get right to it. Hi, this first episode is going to be on budgeting for beginners. Um, so, if you're like most people, you may believe that you're not able to make a budget or you kind of just know how much you're going to spend every month or need to spend every month. So you say, why bother to make a budget? But actually, budgets are awesome and they help you to reach the goals that otherwise you wouldn't be able to if you didn't have a budget. So, the first thing, so we're going to talk about how to make a budget. And if you don't believe you can make a budget, I'm going to show you that you actually can if you know how to make money and if you are employable, then you can make a budget and it can benefit you. First thing to do when creating a budget is first identify your monthly expenses. So you're going to write down all of your monthly expenses that you have to maintain for the month. So this is going to include any rent, mortgage payments, any loan payments that you have, whether it's student loans or personal loans or auto loans. You're also going to account for any child care or transportation expenses. So anything that you must pay every month and it's not an option. So the first thing you're going to do is write down all of your expenses because you really want to know how much money you need to maintain your priorities without going outside of the box. The next thing you're going to have to do when making a budget is write down all of your spending. So yes, this does not include your monthly expenses, which are necessities, but you're going to write down all of your spending. So this is going to include any outside trips to the store at night, anything you want to do for hanging out with friends, like going out for drinks or going to the movies. That late night trip to the dessert spot. My favorite is ice cream. So you really want to write down all of your expenses, and the easiest way to do this, or not your expenses, but your spending. So the easiest way to do this is to actually collect all of your receipts or only pay with a debit card so that way you are able to calculate your spending for every month. And once you do this, you're going to want to subtract the amount you're spending from your expenses. So you total up your expenses and then you total up your spending. So basically you're going to calculate all of the whatever you're spending for the entire month. So if you're spending $1,500 a month, you're going to subtract your spending amount from the total amount that you're spending every month. And that'll kind of give you an idea of where you can, areas of overspending and where you can decrease spending or eliminate that spending altogether. The next thing you want to do, so now that you calculated your expenses and you calculated your spending, you now can actually set a financial goal. So, like I said, a lot of people just go and say, oh yeah, I'll go to the movies. Oh yeah, I'll go on that trip next month with you, like whatever. So, whatever it is that, you kind of just tend to do and not really set for. So, budgeting is a great opportunity to plan for large future things that you want to do. I know for me, mine's is taking a trip to the Caribbean, and it's a pretty hefty trip. So it's probably going to take about $2,300 for me to take that trip to the Caribbean. So with that said, it's important to set out a clear financial goal. So step number 3 is going to set out a clear financial goal. And what the goal does is it provides motivation. It's always a good idea to save money, whether you're or create a budget, whether you're trying to reach a goal or not. But it's a lot more easier to maintain when you actually have some motivation behind the behavior. So you want to set out your clear financial goal. What is it that you want to save for? What is it that you want to do or have been trying to do and you just don't know how, because either one, you feel you don't make enough money, or two, something always comes up where you can't come up with the money, or maybe you had the money and something came up, you have to pay for it, so now you don't have the money anymore. So you want to kind of set a clear financial, you want to set a clear financial goal so that way you can create steps to actually reaching that goal. Like I said, mine's is going to the Caribbean in the summer, so I know that I have 7 months to plan for that trip. It's going to approximately take me $320 to save up for that. So I know that every month I'm going to have to set aside $320. So when I'm creating my budget, I'm actually going to put that $320 in there somewhere. Somehow, some way, I'm going to make that $320, whether I have to cut back on spending or cut down on some expenses. So you want to set your goal and you want to start working towards that goal. And you want to start working towards that goal. The next thing you're going to do for creating a budget is actually creating the budget. So now that you have identified your expenses, now that you have identified your monthly spending, now that you have set your clear financial goal, now you can actually start working towards those goals. Start working towards those goals by sticking to your budget. So in your budget, you want to include your monthly expenses. You also want to include savings. So when you do your budget, you want to enter all of your monthly expenses. So remember, your monthly expenses is your rent payment, transportation, any loan payments you have due, any childcare expenses, groceries is a must. So those are going to be your expenses. And then once you do your expenses, you want to create a savings. So a lot of people wait until the end to do the savings. No, you can't wait until the end to do the savings because it just doesn't work. Like, it can work, but it doesn't work. In my experience, it doesn't work because people tend to put all their spending in first and then say, oh, I'll save $20, but you just got a $1,500 check. Yeah, so it doesn't make sense. Like, you pay yourself first. Why would you go to work every day and give your money to someone else who is it doesn't make too much sense. So you want to pay yourself. You want to make sure that if you're working 40 hours plus a week, you want to make sure that you're keeping some of that money for yourself and not giving it all to other people, whoever other people are, whether it's stores, family, I don't know. Everyone to each his own. But so you want to you want to put your savings into your budget. So if your monthly expenses, say you get paid $2,200 a month, your monthly expenses is $1,500 a month. Savings can be anywhere from $200 to $500 a month. Like, it's up to you, but you just want to make sure that you are putting something into your savings. You want to look at your financial goal and see how much you stated you wanted to save every month, and you want to make sure that you're putting that aside at least. So the next thing, so after that's done, so after you put in your expenses and your savings, then you want to see what you have left for leisurely spending. And a lot of people don't do this and until they actually reach their goal. But my idea is if you deprive yourself, you're not going to stick to your budget. So if there's something you want to do, put that into your budget and actually stick to it after that. So, for instance, I know for me, I have a $50 entertainment budget and I have a $50 restaurant budget. That's what I have on my budget. So if I have any money left over, that's what it's going to. And then, so say you put in your expenses and you put in your savings. If and that amount is actually coming out to more than what you actually bring home. So there's a few things you can do. So you can either reduce your payments. So if you have loan payments, you can either reduce those payments. I know everyone doesn't put the minimum on their payments, and quite frankly, if you have debt, you shouldn't be putting a minimum payment because you're trying to get that paid off as quickly as possible. But that's something you can do. You can reduce your payments until you're ready to actually pay more onto that amount. You can cut back on expenses. So if you have like gym memberships or something that it's an expense, but it's not really a necessity, like you can cut it out if you want, then that's an option where you can kind of cut back on. You can even look at your expenses and eliminate some of those expenses. So say you have a credit card bill that you've been working on paying off for months and it's just taking too long to pay off because of the interest amount that's on there. There's certain methods that you can do to actually pay off that debt faster, so that way that can be eliminated completely from your budget altogether. Another thing you can do is find ways to increase your income, whether that's asking for a raise at work, whether that's doing a little side hustle, whether that's creating extra streams of income, something that will get your income over your expense amount. And that's pretty much all I'm going to say for this episode. We can get into, all the extra stuff later. But so the next thing is going to be, how do you actually create a budget? So with the internet and technology today, there are literally hundreds of budget apps available out there. There are, some are better than others, but they all will help you to create a budget so that way you can stay on track to reaching your financial goal. I know a few of them are the EveryDollar app, which is free, mint.com app, the Good Budget Planner, and Clarity Money. Like, these are all apps that you can literally input numbers into, and it'll calculate it for you, and it'll keep track of your expenses. So you don't have to go to the boring Excel sheets and, duplicate those every single month. Like, there's actually fun ways of keeping track of your money that actually works, and it's on your phone. You have your phone with you, I'm hoping, or I'm guessing 24/7. So utilize these apps. They're completely free. There are other versions of it where you have to pay for it, but to do a simple budget, you don't have to pay for it. It's completely free. So I say utilize those, and let's get started on reaching those financial goals. So that's it for today's show. I hope that you learned something today. I hope that you enjoyed this segment, and I will see you next time. If you like what you saw today, please like, comment, or subscribe, and I will appreciate it. Thank you. See you guys later. Bye.